Hi, everybody. Today is part 2 of our spring planting video series. And today we're going to be sowing seed for a plant called Borage. Borage is an annual herb that's native to the Mediterranean. It's a large ornamental plant and it has culinary purposes, and it also is a good companion plant. So today, since I'm gardening in a container, I'm only going to sow a couple of seeds at 1/4 inch depth. And we're going to let it germinate from a period of 7 to 14 days. It has a maturity date of 56 to 80 days. So let's get started. This soil in this container was from last season. So we're going to just make sure that we're fluffing up the soil, because make sure it doesn't have any bunches of roots in there, and make sure that the hole is clear at the bottom. It should be. I'm also looking to see if I have any wonderful worms. Move my mulch out the way from last year. Want the mulch to impede upon the germination of the seeds, so I'm just going to scooch that to the side. See if we have any worms, because that would be a good sign, but I don't see any so far. Let's see. Make sure that the soil isn't really compacted down at the bottom. This is a relatively large ornamental plant. The flowers and the leaves can be used for culinary purposes. The flowers can be candied, put into teas, or used as a garnish for food. The leaves, the small, tender, young leaves, can be used in drinks, soups, and salads. Some people say it also has medicinal purposes. Philosophers used to say that it gave people courage and it cured people of broken hearts. The flower, which can be harvested, it has a light, refreshing, cucumber-like flavor. This plant likes partial shade to full sun. It does well in rich soil, and it does well in poor soil, because this is a really drought tolerant plant. The flowers come in blue or pink. Even though it is a drought tolerant plant, it does like moist soil during the germination period, especially. So you don't want your seeds to dry out. The seeds can be harvested within 6 to 8 weeks of the maturity of the plant. You can let the seed heads dry in order to harvest the seeds. This is a really proliferous self-seeding plant. So if you leave the seed heads on there, it will self-seed, which some people love about it. Once you plant it, you don't have to worry about resowing the seeds to get more of this plant. But if you want to harvest your seeds, you can pull off the seed heads, let them dry in a cool, dry place where you store, if you're storing the seeds away for the season, and you get rid of all the debris from the flower and the leaves, and then you can store your seeds for the next season. So here we are only going to, because these seeds are relatively small. These seeds are relatively small. We're only going to sow, I'm going to put 3 in for good measure. So just 1/4 inch hole. And let me make sure that's not too big. I'm just going to lightly cover it with soil, and it needs light to germinate, of course. So we're going to put this in my front garden, and I'm going to water it in a little bit, and then if you're going to mulch this plant, I'm going to mulch around, not over the seeds, but if you're going to mulch this plant, you're not mulching and piling up the soil at the base of the plant, because it'll cause your leaves to droop and your plant to rot. So I'm just going to add the little gorilla hair I had left over from last season around the edges, and my plant should come up in the middle. If I get multiple plants, I'm going to just thin out and keep the strongest one. So because this is a large plant and this container is about 12 inches, I believe, I'm only going to keep one plant in this container. Borage is a very good companion plant because it repels pests like the hornworm. So you can plant borage with your strawberries or your tomatoes because, as many of you know, hornworms love tomatoes. So this is a good companion plant to repel those pests. Also, it's a very good plant for pollinators, bees, and butterflies. Hummingbirds also love this plant, known as the star flower in the beebush also. So if you're looking for a common name other than borage, those are two names you can look up and find this plant. I'm looking forward to it. It's beautiful. As you could tell by the package, it has the little purple flowers. So I'm looking forward to using it to go with my strawberry plants I have, but also as an ornamental plant by my front door. Thank you for coming to my channel and joining me as I sow seed for Borage. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which I will be planting Mexican hand flower seeds. We're going to do okra. We also have a bean plant, pepper plants that I'm growing indoors, some basil. So we have a lot more coming for the spring season. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye.